If you'd like to animate a part and move it along a path, this can be done easily in Animator as a motion study. But first, you have to constrain the parts properly to simulate this kind of behavior. Here, I'd like to make the ball follow the path through the tube. The path is shown by a sketch in my feature tree. Right now, the ball's free to move anywhere. To create this behavior, I'll be adding a path mate. I'll launch the Mate tool, and under the Advanced Mates section, launch the Path Mate. For the component vertex, I'll use the origin of the ball. For the path, I'll use the Selection Manager to make sure each segment of the path is selected. When I click OK, the path's mate's added, and the ball will now follow the path through the tube. The question asked is how this could be animated. This is actually very easy. I'll open the Motion Manager tab here at the bottom. This may look a bit confusing if it's the first time you've seen this interface, but it's actually pretty straightforward. The main thing you'll notice is the timeline, and these diamonds, called keys. The keys represent what's happening at different points on the timeline, such as the position of components or other properties. In this case, I want to create a key that positions the ball in the middle of the path when we're 2 seconds into the animation. To do this, I'll grab the animation playhead and move it to 2 seconds. Now, the easiest way to create a new key is by having this Auto Key button depressed. With it pressed, all I have to do is move the ball, and the new key is placed at the playhead at 2 seconds. The key is telling SOLIDWORKS I want the ball to be at this position graphically at this point in time. I can again move the playhead, this time to 3 seconds, move the ball one more time, and another key is added. All I have to do now is calculate the motion, and then I can play the animation from the beginning. The keys can be easily moved in the timeline to adjust the speed at which things are happening. Once you've finished adjusting the animation, you can save the video as an AVI file. Now, if you want to be more precise than the drag and drop method I used here, you can use values to drive the animation instead. I'll switch back to the model, and if I edit the path mate, I can set a path constraint that sets a distance along the path. I'll set this to 0.5 for now, and click OK. At this point, I'll create a brand new motion study. Notice there's a mate section listed in the timeline with corresponding keys. If I double-click the key for the path mate, the dimension spin box pops up where I see the value of 0.5 I typed in a moment ago. I can create more keys for this mate and place them at different points on the timeline, each with their own value for the distance along the path. To do this, I'll hold down the Control button and drag and drop the first key to copy it. I'll place it somewhere on the timeline, and to give this key a new value, I'll double-click it and type in the distance for this point in the timeline. I'll repeat this process a couple of times. Now, once my keyframes are added and the mate distance for each is set, I'll calculate the simulation and play it. One last thing to keep in mind. What we did here was a basic animation by simply positioning components. If you need to simulate real-world interactions between components, then you might want to investigate the full suite of SOLIDWORKS motion simulation. Check with your SOLIDWORKS reseller for more info.